Jai Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna Nama Prabhu Ki Jai. Welcome all of you. We will begin today with a quote which closes the subject on the 11th module. And this is quote 19 in my Japa module. This is again on the subject of material manifestation. It's not an illusion, but for the time being, it is illusion. So I'll read the quote. Illusion means it is temporary. Just like you dream something. This is called illusion. But dream is actually not illusion. Because although in dream you see some tiger is attacking, that is illusion. And you are crying, save me, here is a tiger. But one who is awakened, he will say, why are you crying? There is no tiger, there is no tiger. This is illusion. But when you are dreaming that there is a tiger, you are crying, that is not illusion. It is acting. It is acting. Similarly, this material manifestation, it is not illusion. But for the time being, it is illusion. We are attracted with this material world, society, friendship and love. But in a second, we can be slapped by the material nature and get out of this illusion, just like dream. So in this sense, it is illusion. But so long it is there, it is fact also. So chant Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada, is using the word here that you are acting, because your acting is a fact. Okay. The content of a drama on the stage may be illusion. But the fact that the players are acting, it is a fact. So because the story, that all those things are all does not last, therefore we say that the theme of the story of the drama is illusion, we say, with respect to outside reality. So this is what we were discussing earlier also, because it's all connected to what is self-purification, isn't it? That's how we began this. What is the meaning of self-purification? By associating with the Nama Avatara, self-purification happens. Self-purification means we finally concluded that it was awakening of our spiritual mind and spiritual intelligence and spiritual senses. Right now, our soul is covered by material mind, material intelligence, material senses. So awakening means to awaken our original senses, etc. So what does this awakening? Awakening means then what is this sleep you're talking about? You awaken a person who is sleeping. So that is where Prabhupada explains this dream, that we are creating a false world in our mind. That is our dream. That I am this body, other people are their bodies, etc. So let's summarize this point. First is, material world is not Jiva's dream. This is first point. It's not that when you self-realize the beautiful mountains, the beautiful trees, the snow-clad mountains and beautiful flowers and everything that you see in this material world vanishes when you get self-realization. That's what the Mayavadis say. Ultimate self-realization means everything blanks out. Everything vanishes because that itself does not exist. That's what they say. But we don't say it does not exist. We are saying that We are seeing A as B, and we should see A as A and B as B. We should see rope as rope, snake as snake. But snake exists, rope exists. So this is the idea of Vaishnavas saying that we are in illusion. So once each of us think, okay, next. So material world is not Jiva's dream, number one. It is a real energy of the Lord that undergoes creation, maintenance, annihilation by His plan. But it is a common multimedia theatrical stage set up by Him for Jivas to take up artificial bodies made of material nature. And by knowing it as a kshetrajna, by knowing those bodies and misidentifying with it, they enact life in this multimedia theatrical stage. That is why you don't find the soul physically in the body, as a soul is not matter. Because soul is connected to this body as a knower of the body. Okay. After identifying with its own body, then he starts seeing other jivas also as their bodies. Thus, he creates this illusory thing in his illusory world in his head. Just like you see one more nice, a simpler example, not a simpler example, and what really happens to us. When we are babies, when you are just born, slowly our senses show this world. Through the senses we see this world. And we see our mother, father, people around us. And that is when we get into this. For instance, I can move my hand as a baby. I can move my legs. I can cry. So I feel freedom over this body. So I start thinking that's the first understanding. I am this body. Okay. So where did it? By the input of my own senses, I realized that I got into illusion that I am this body. And then I see other people slowly as their bodies. Why I don't think other people's body is not my body? Because I don't see, I have the freedom there to lift their hand. Here I can lift my hand and all those things. So I start differentiating. I, he, she, everything we start differentiating. So these are all we start mapping these things in our mind, our chitta, and we start creating a new world of people in each of our, as in each life we create a new world of our people, new people. Thus we create a society in our head of people as being their bodies. Whereas none of us are bodies. Everybody is in the common illusion. And then our nature is Satchidananda. So we seek Satchidananda through these bodies in the society. So in this way we create a web of so much complicated emotional relationship, everything in our head. So this world that we create in our mind, that chittam we create, is quite complicated. That is why to come out of it, that it is illusion, you need special mercy of the namas, Satchidananda energies from the nama, to actually not only give us this disidentification, I am not this body, but also we need to become detached from all that emotional body. We need to become detached from that. So we all know, see, intellectually understanding many things are very easy. But when it comes to actually executing it, emotions come into play. So, and you know how to change emotional habits is so difficult. Just like emotion, I developed deep emotion with my father, my mother, all these people, I have developed deep emotions. Because I believed that they are my father, because I believed they were actually doing role play, but I believed that they are my father, etc. So there is a real emotional connection, husband, wife, children, everything. So just by hearing that you are not the body, all those things are not going to vanish. Because they are all conditioned in our in our mind, in our chittam. That is the reason why only by replacing all that emotions with transcendental emotions is it possible for us to get out of this emotional world and start experiencing the emotional world of bhakti. Krishna, the Supreme Lord, my real self as a servant of Krishna, myself as undying, never dying, eternal, etc., etc. So this is the idea of purification. So don't think this purification simply some chit flows into you. It's not some information flow. Chit flow means chit shakti. Along with that, all the feelings also, realization also should come. So we come out of the temporary world of people with bodily identities to the eternal world, and still we can deal with them, we can preach to them, and all those things as haunted people. We come out of being haunted by this illusion, so we see the same world. And then this world becomes beautiful for a Vaishnava also, because for him, the reality may be there. The body may give trouble, all those things, doesn't matter. But his spiritual perception is it is beautiful creation of the Lord. Lord has a purpose. That is why Prabhupada says, even in this material world, if you all awaken and become Krishna conscious, this world can be nice world, except birth, death, old age and disease. These things is unavoidable. But overall, we can be prosperous in the material world by doing yajna, by satisfying Krishna, recognizing Krishna as the supreme enjoyer of all yajnas. It is possible even to bring goodness in this material world. So, that is one. Now, one more thing I want to, in this connection, I want connection of our Shakti Aveshanama. You see, I will read a quote and then based on that I will explain. The Shakti Aveshanama, I am using the word, is potentially omnipotent. Why? Because according to different chanters, different degrees of Shakti can come into the material plane. It can manifest. So, for that, Prabhupada's one quote is there. When a mantra is chanted by a great devotee, the mantra becomes more powerful. Although the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is powerful in itself, a disciple upon initiation receives the mantra from his spiritual master. For when the mantra is chanted by the spiritual master, it becomes more powerful. So this fact also we have to accommodate in our understanding of Nama Avatara, that Shakti Avesha Nama is potentially omnipotent. Why? Because Prakrita Nama is there, then all his powers are present there. They are present there. But how much you can draw depends on our consciousness. We discussed the other day. Depends on our purity of our chitta. So a rock can, a muddy patch can absorb more rain. A rock can only absorb little. So therefore I say potentially omnipotent. So a lot depends upon the chanter too. And that is how I explained the same phenomena by telling that, by giving the example of the vessel which receives rain. The capacity of the vessel keeps on increasing as we absorb more and more of the rain of mercy. So if the capacity becomes more, then the holy name that we chant and hear will become little more, we manifest little more power, to absorb it more. So that is why Prabhupada says that even though generally everywhere you pick up Hare Krishna Mahamantra from anywhere and you start chanting, and it has its effect according to your individual capacity to absorb it. But when you hear from a pure devotee, and when he wishes to give you that mantra as in the initiation, then he is able to manifest the same mantra becomes more powerful and you receive it. So there is a great relevance to initiation too, formal initiation. Because we also saw an earlier quote that actually Hare Krishna Mahamantra does not need initiation. Yes, to begin its effect, it does not need initiation. But later on, you have to follow the Guru's instruction, and Guru's instruction will actually guide us how to draw all the mercy that is available in the holy name to get us liberated. So this is one point that I wanted to cover. Now, one more quote, again in connection with this, before we... This is another very important quote. According to Shastra, this is again quote 23 in my module. According to Shastra, if somebody thinks, just like here is a deity, if somebody thinks, oh, it is made of stone, it is stone to the eyes of non-devotees, but it is personally the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the devotees. It requires the eyes to see. So devotee sees a different angle of vision. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he entered Jagannath temple, immediately he fainted. Oh, here is my Lord. And the non-devotee is seeing. It is wood, a lump of wood. Therefore, to the non-devotee he remains always as wood, but to the devotee he speaks. That is the difference. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. If God is everything, why wood? Through wood and stone, God cannot manifest. If God is everything, according to Mayavada philosophy, that's a fact. God omnipotent. He can express himself even through wood and stone. That is God's omnipotency. That is called omnipotency. Please remember this particular aspect of give me the charger. The omnipotent, this is called omnipotency. I repeatedly reminded 2 points about Avatara, his omnipotent nature and his all-merciful nature. These 2 things get expressed in manifesting the Avatara. This is called omnipotency, not that God is unable to express himself through wood and stone. Then, how he is omnipotent? His omnipotent means his potency can be expressed through anything. Because anything, everything is the expansion of God's energy. Parasya Shaktir, Parasya Brahmana Shaktis Tathedam Akilam Jagat. The whole world is manifestation of different energies of God. Therefore, just like through the energy of electricity, the electric powerhouse, although far, far away from this place was expressing, there is electricity. Through this glass, through these wires, the power can be expressed. There is a process. This is where I got, it is from this quote I got this analogy of a copper wire and electricity passing through that. Prabhupada is talking about it in connection with Avatara. So, and yeah, that more or less closes the 11th module. Still some quotes are there which are more quote is there. Yeah. This is a quote which says how Aprakrita Nama, Rupa, Guna and Lila are revealed. No one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality and pastimes of Sri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated in transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality, pastimes of the Lord are revealed. This is from Padma Purana. In a letter to Jayatirtha, Prabhupada is quoting this. So, therefore, all Prakrita Nama have their own sweet will and they have to decide themselves to reveal to our tongue, reveal to our mind, reveal to our ears the transcendental taste. So that, okay, now we'll take some questions, today's question and then some left which was left over yesterday. Yeah, are you putting up the questions? Okay. Is it okay to have time duration as target to complete japa? It drives me if I fix a target, say 1 hour, I have to complete 9 rounds. That is okay, as long as it's a reasonable time where you don't skip any words. No, don't go till I finish it. I have to complete 9 rounds. Yeah. So if the 1 hour is enough for your 9 rounds, it's good. You fix time also. But there is one danger of sometimes devotees, they don't count. They say, let me chant 2 hours. So that is not permitted, because later on we will come into that portion, how counting has a significant role to play. Okay. So as long as both are there, fine. Time target and number of rounds also. Then, next. While chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, my attention goes somewhere after few seconds. Who is reminding within me to chant attentively? Who is reminding you to chant attentively? Whatever you have heard in the past, it is already in your subconscious, and you are aware that what you are doing is not the right chanting. So you have created, you have taught your mind to catch inattentive chanting. So the mind is catching inattentive chanting and is telling you that, you are chanting inattentively. Can you let me know who is reminding and directing me to chant attentively, either my subtle body, or soul, or super soul? So it is your subtle body, because you have taught it. You have heard from Prabhupada, you should not be inattentive. It went into you, and now you set up a center in your mind to catch, attention going, escaping, all those things. One, is it okay if I focus on chanting distinctly and hearing sharply without acquiring all the knowledge that is being taught in the japa modules? No problem. You focus on chanting distinctly and hearing sharply, and you should read Prabhupada's books also, because what all knowledge is being taught in japa module is nothing but what is there in Prabhupada's books. So who is Krishna, what is chanting and hearing, why it is a seva, all those things that knowledge has to be there. Okay. So then, as we mentioned, 6 months is sufficient to train the mind from mindless to mindful japa? Can you please break the goal of 6 months to weekly, daily and round by round? Yeah, be patient. All that I will do. As part of self-purification, when we devotees try to get detached from emotions and attachment in the material world, would non-devotees misunderstand us? No, you get detached in which sense? You get detached in a sense gratification sense. Like Prabhupada says, you can still show affection to people. It's not that, the soul is there. We have a relationship with those who are still in illusion. We have a real relationship with them of being compassionate. So how to speak Krishna consciousness in a way in which slowly they wake up for their own good, for their own welfare. So Krishna consciousness is highest welfare activity. So they are all target for our service. So get detached means what? Detached means detached from false emotions and attachments. But you can have affection for them. Okay. They'll misunderstand. You should do it in such a way they don't misunderstand. Okay. If you do it harshly, then you cannot preach it to them at all. They will think, what kind of devotee you are. You are so harsh. You don't smile. You don't talk to us. All the kind of things people will say. So we need also all those. See, Prabhupada explains just like how suppose a housewife, she has a paramour outside. She will do her work so diligently that nobody detects her. But in her mind, she knows she is always thinking of her paramour. In the same way, we act like normal people. That is at a vyavaharic level. But in the depth of heart, our attachments, everything is somewhere else. Our real world is somewhere else. So if you want to be preachers in this world, after knowing that I am not this body, but this body is this social ego, everything I can use now to serve Krishna, not for sense gratification, then that is continue. Earlier you were in the drama, you are in the drama thinking that it is real. Now you continue to be in the drama for the sake of preaching Krishna consciousness and play the different roles. If you are a husband, you play the role of a husband. If you are a wife, you play the role of a... so you have children, everything. Not that it all gets wiped out. They become... there. You know that it is temporary. At the same time, you are not thinking this is my eternal emotion, it is my eternal attachment, is my eternal husband, eternal this thing. By default, everybody in the material world thinks like that. They never think the relationship will break. They never think my near and dear ones will die. But we also have connection with our near and dear ones, knowing very well that it is this. We use all this for waking up everybody up. So human relationships are also very useful for preaching Krishna consciousness. But we have to be very careful that we don't become wet. Just like a brahmachari should not just go and preach to young women or college, girls' college, and I can still be detached and do my role play. It's quite risky. So you should be very careful. Similarly, sannyasis should be very careful. Okay. During chanting, irrelevant past thoughts come. How to subside these thoughts? By eventually understanding what is soulful japa, by executing soulful japa, to give you one simple thing, as long as you think that this is a ritual, chanting and hearing is a ritual, then so many thoughts come. So if you know that it is a relationship with the Nama Prabhu, that means you should enrich your background by understanding what you are doing. What is the meaning of this chanting? If you don't forget the Savior, the one who is receiving this service, then attention will stay there. Attention goes away because you think it is a mechanical activity. your background does not have all those things that I am chanting for holy name is a person and he is hearing it and all those things, and therefore when there is a appreciation, gratitude for the Lord for having come down on your tongue, so all those things, that background feelings, the more enriched our background feeling is, then better will be our chanting. See, just like you see how easily when let's say I'm in my office, then I get a phone call from somebody, and he is some customer somewhere or something. He calls me up. As soon as I hear his name, immediately I know he's a customer. All the things about that customer is loaded in my background, isn't it? Then only I can meaningfully speak to him. I won't mechanically speak to him. I'll be meaningfully speak to him. My activity of talking will be meaningful. Very same time, if he suppose that customer says, your brahmachari is here, please can you have a word with him? Then brahmachari comes on the line. He'll say, Prabhu, I am preaching to him, he is giving a donation now. As soon as brahmachari comes on the line, I switch over. My background, 1 minute before I didn't know any in my background, there's nothing about that brahmachari. Suddenly that brahmachari comes. Then I have a meaning in talking to the brahmachari on the phone. Like that, you see, we all have, that is the reason why I am saying that we should come out of this ritualistic chanting, and background knowledge is very important. You should understand what is it that you are doing when you are chanting. That is the beginning of Soulful Japa. Soulful Japa means no past thoughts will come. Irrelevant past thoughts will not come, but relevant past thoughts can manifest by Krishna's mercy of reciprocation of the holy name and so many things. While chanting Hare Krishna mantra, I ensure I hear each name distinctly and attentively. Still my mind somehow in between keeps thinking, when will I finish my 16 rounds? How to pacify my mind to chant purely? Yeah, all these things do not have one-line answer. This entire Japa module is to solve this problem. So only, understanding of all these things is worth it, because it will enrich your Japa. What is more important? What is more important, quality of chanting or number of rounds? As I feel my quality decreases, I try to increase my number of rounds as I try to finish it. See, it is very important that if you have taken a commitment before Srila Prabhupada to chant 16 rounds, then quality or no quality, you have to finish 16 rounds. And then work on further quality. Because that is following the order of the Guru. What is the difference between two? Both are following everything Prabhupada said, but one is not formally initiated, but he accepts Srila Prabhupada as his Guru. He will advance up to a certain level. After that, Prabhupada would want him to get sadhu sangha, where he lives with the devotees or he learns Vaishnava etiquette, and he learns, because ultimately Krishna consciousness is not only about bhakti to Krishna. Krishna consciousness is about respecting every part and parcel of Krishna. So you respect Krishna and you respect everybody else. So that you learn only in sadhu sangha. So once one gets formally initiated, then what happens? Prabhupada's institution as a mechanism for how association is arranged for congregation, for temple devotees, etc. What if I follow regulative principle, chant 16 rounds, read Srila Prabhupada's book, but don't get initiated officially? Will I go back to Godhead, or whatever devotion service I have done is waste? No, it is never a waste. It's okay. Eventually you will understand why you have to get initiated officially. What is the hesitation? You are ready to follow 4 principles, ready to chant 16 rounds, ready to read all books, but I don't want to get officially initiated. It takes only one day. If you're all ready to take, why you don't want that? So, whatever devotional service I have done is a waste? No, it's never a waste. It will bring you to the point where you will have realization that I need to get formally initiated. Because Prabhupada says this, we are not creating this. Prabhupada says, even before initiation it will affect. It will start its effect on you. But during initiation, he formally delivers the holy name to you. And you can go beyond, see, as this question I had answered earlier also, you can go up to liberation. Ultimately, going back to God, means Prabhupada has to take you. That means Prabhupada has to take you. If you are super exceptional, we don't know. I cannot say Prabhupada's mind. Even if you are not initiated, Prabhupada can take you also. But do you want to depend on that exemption which you unheard of? Anything Guru can do, Prabhupada can do. It is so easy to get formally initiated if you are doing all these things. What is the meaning of spiritually saturated? Spiritually saturated means, I know where you got that word. I know if I have used that word. So I'll leave that. You can clarify tomorrow. What does one have to do while doing japa? Is it pronunciation and bead movement? You have to take a bead, you have to bead after bead. In each bead you have to chant Hare Krishna, move to the next bead. Please learn this from somebody who is already chanting, and he will teach you how to do the japa on and what all to do during japa. How to understand that mantra becomes more powerful when chanted by great devotees, since Nama is potentially omnipotent in itself. This is exactly what I said. Nama, aprakrita Nama is omnipotent. Right? Just like aprakrita Nama is omnipotent. But the Prakrita Nama is becoming the Shakti Avesha Nama. But how much Shakti flows through that Prakrita Nama depends upon the chanter's consciousness. Depends on the chanter's consciousness. So that is what it means. So when chanted by great devotees, since Nama is not potentially omnipotent. Nama is omnipotent. But the Shakti Avesha Nama is the vibration that you chant is potentially omnipotent. How purely you chant, more Shakti will come through that. You can draw more Shakti. Spiritual mind takes content from material mind. Does it have its own content? Yeah, right now it does not have its own content. We need to fill that content. Its own chit content. Yes, spiritual mind right now is simply, following whatever is there in the. That is why we have to put the spiritual content in the material mind. And then it will awaken the content of the spiritual mind. See, whenever you read Prabhupada's books, where is it going? It is going into your chitta. It is going into your material mind. Through your material senses, going to material intelligence. And then it purifies your contaminated intelligence. Your quality of intelligence changes, quality of your mind changes. And then it attains almost the quality of spiritual mind, and spiritual mind awakens. Okay. Kindly shed light on how to receive Nama from Srila Prabhupada through our Ritvik system during initiation. You please contact any devotees whom you are in touch with. So, I would like to stick to, subjects on which I have spoken. If I did good hearing today, what activities which I can do today so that it guarantees good hearing tomorrow also? Yeah, every day we have to put our efforts. Because every day your consciousness is, Kala is bringing different situations, your mood is different, you have different situations to control your mind. Means this also I have explained earlier. So every day we have to, the foreground attention, it's a challenge, day-to-day challenge for us. But once you practice, then it helps. But still, if you, even after practice, you cannot guarantee that some emotional turmoil will just come and completely take away your attention. You cannot guarantee that. All it's a continuous. If I just hear Prakrita Nama, it's empowered Aprakrita Nama, empowered by Aprakrita Nama. So what is the importance of hearing Aprakrita Nama? First of all, you cannot hear Aprakrita Nama now. You cannot hear. So, eventually, see, if God says for you, for your sake, I have come into the material vibration. That means eventually you want to see Him directly. So in the same way, we want to hear Him directly. So that is the importance of hearing Him directly at some time. Now our attention is touching Aprakrita Nama. Just like in a dream, your attention is touching everything. But your real senses are not touching. So now we want not only our attention to touch, our attention should touch, and my spiritual mind should become purified, it should awaken, and my spiritual senses should chant the Prakrita Nama. Okay. What does one have to do while doing japa? Is it pronunciation? I already finished that. Japa quality, how to do the role play when I am dealing with people who are inclined to sense gratification along with me. When they are inclined, then just like, you can't have relationship with everybody. Isn't it? When you see there is, you have an objective to give them Krishna consciousness. You have an objective to give the good things that you have got to them. And how much you can, even little you can give, you associate. Otherwise, you don't associate. With everybody we cannot. We also don't go and preach to everybody. Japa quality has improved but not able to maintain same quality always. What should be our on-time japa endeavor? Online japa endeavor. Specifically, what should our prayers before chanting? How to prepare ourselves? We'll discuss all that as we come. Krishna is all powerful and there is nothing He can't do. So if a soul desires to be self-annihilated and asks to Krishna for that, can Krishna annihilate the soul? If a soul desires, experientially he can annihilate. That is called Sayujya Mukti. You go and merge your individuality into Krishna. You don't have individuality at all. You merge into it. That means, but your substance doesn't, you are eternal. You cannot be destroyed or this thing created. You are an eternal substance. But your experience of, I don't want my individuality, I don't want my identity, I don't want my separate identity. So that is called Sayujya Mukti. So He can give you Sayujya Mukti. Then, okay, so thank you for today. We have time up. Hare Krishna. We'll see you tomorrow.